Hey everybody, my name is Christina, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Module 6 and a concept about it. At first, if you guys remember, this module mostly talked about how to measure people's attitudes, but it was more like in a numerical way with scales, charts, interviews, and all these type of stuff. So at first, it was really hard to find a concept I could actually relate to a real life experience and talk about it. But I did came up with a concept that was actually in the book, in that chapter 6, and it's called unobstructive measure. As cited by the book, unobstructive measure is an indirect attitude assessment technique in which researchers observe individuals' behavior without their knowledge. This type of measurement actually helps researchers gain knowledge about a group's attitudes without interrupting their normal stream of behavior. That say like the people don't know they're being observed, or their attitude is being observed, for they say, and they don't interrupt a normal day activity, or they just observe them however they would be acting. This measure is completely on the opposite side of direct measurements like surveys, interviews, and questionnaires that actually do interrupt the normal setting of a person's environment. So now that I talked to you about what this measurement is and told you a little bit of how it works, I'm going to tell you of an experience I had with this unobstructive measurement in one of my classes. It's in my academic life a couple of semesters ago when I was taking a language and communication theory class. So for this class, we actually had to develop a study proposal throughout the semester. So we started working week by week on certain stuff we needed to do. We didn't actually have to do the study. It was just to work on this proposal that maybe in the future we'd want to take on as a real study. So we had to choose a theory and we had to choose like a research method. And the research method I chose was content analysis, which is a type of unobstructive measurement. What content analysis is, it's just a way of researchers review artifacts. This type of artifacts can range from written documents, short videos, and even Facebook comments or tweets. So this process has mainly 3 points. It's selecting the unit of analysis. So it's selecting if you're going to be analyzing videos, tweets, comments, then you're going to code them. And then the last part is conducting an analysis based on those coding schemes that you made up. So the basis of my project was to do a content analysis of tweets that would be chosen just from golfers. It was going to be professional golfers, both men and women, and the tweets would be to see how these golfers interacted with other golfers on Twitter and their fans. The idea was basically to be able to find information that could somehow show if the way in which these athletes communicated with their fans had an impact on the attendance of their tournaments. That is, if the impact outside the social network was actually happening. Since the observations with content analysis or unobstructive behavior do happen without the person's knowledge, it does have some criticism and has raised ethical questions. But proponents of unobstructive measures point out that the results of these types of measurement outweigh the criticism because they can gain a more realistic result. So now that I have discussed the experience, I will now make some inferences. And I would say that I side with the defenders of unobstructive measures just because it can avoid facing a Hawthorne effect in your experiment. So what the Hawthorne effect is that the alteration of people's behavior in a study due to the awareness that they're being observed. So what happens is when people know they're being observed, they act different. And with unobstructive measurement, even if the people don't know, they're just acting and going about themselves like they normally would in a normal day, and don't alter their behavior based on that. So now that I made some inferences, I will discuss how this inferences can be transferred to other situations. So other types of unobstructive measurement methods are secondary analysis of data and indirect measures. These types of methods can be used in studies, and if your study proposal is supported, you will have no problem with the institutional review board approving it. So in conclusion, I would summarize this video by stating that if you can understand the basic laws of privacy within the context of our experiments, we can certainly use this measurement method with no problem.